I became interested in photography when I was about 12 years old. And some of my influences at the time were the 60s black and white street photographers, Gary Winogrand and Lee Friedlander. Some of the music photography I'd see in like the UK press as I became interested in the punk scene in the late 70s. Kind of that combination of art and music that came together for me. Early on, I sort of developed a style, and I kind of stuck with that style, sometimes maybe even to my detriment. But I was sort of after this sort of perfection in the frame of the experience of a rock and roll show. For me, the most important aspect in a photograph is the composition. It's what allows a photographer to tell a complete story within one frame. You can have the best moment, and if you don't compose it correctly, it doesn't have that same resonance, the psychological resonance with the viewer. It's just this emotional story. I do wish that I had taken more candid photos. I mean, I really like the ones that I have, but in retrospect, those are quite meaningful. In some ways, more meaningful to people than a lot of the live stuff. There were a few times when I was photographing that, I knew, I snapped that shutter and I knew, like, this is different. And that was that picture of Kurt Cobain on his back. You don't see his face, his hair is in his face, his guitar, this is great angles of his legs out one way and his guitar neck the other. And it just captured that moment where it's very ambiguous but very exciting at the same time. It was moments like that and images like that like kept me going and will keep any artist or photographer going, creating something unique and new that hasn't been seen before. And that's what drew people to my art as well. I don't think at the time any one of us realized just how special the scene was, or in a long-term sense, a legacy sense. And I think maybe that was part of its success. It just takes this few people to make this bigger thing happen. And then of course, once you make it happen to a degree, then the rest of the world comes to you.